Hi guys, welcome to my top 5 gaming experiences video. Now this is a very personal one because this entirely depends on what you've played, what sort of game world you've seen, what you're into, that sort of thing. Now it's not like specific moments in games, but it's stuff like say like an open world in Skyrim, for instance. That would be a great experience. It might be something on your list, or something in an MMO, like that thing where you could join guilds and build guilds in the old Ultima Online MMO. God, that's going back a long time, isn't it? But yeah, these are for me. These are the top 5 that I've seen over the years that's really stand out in my mind. Now, number 5 top of the list is such an odd one, but it's the crime in Grand Theft Auto 3. Now, when this, there've been Grand Theft Autos before this, and then you got this 3D world coming out, the first proper 3D world where it's more open than anything you'd seen before, for the amount of damage you could do. The way you could steal things, rob banks, cars, people. You could do practically whatever you want in an illegal sense. That sounds terrible, doesn't it? But it really stands out in my mind. You'd never really experienced it in 3D before to that degree, so it will always be a special thing for me. Very odd. Number 4, this is an odd one, but one that I played to death, but the initial opening part of it is for Fallout 3. And it's basically you walk out of the vault and then the sun beats down, you see this wasteland before you, and then you've got all the freeways overhead that are falling to pieces, and you basically set out walking towards Mega City 1, and it's just that whole thing of it's walking the wastes, being up in that such an open world which has been destroyed and all fallen to pieces, and it would literally take, as you got later on in the game, it would literally take 5 minutes to walk between the two, but in that moment when between getting out of the vault and getting over to there, everything would happen every few, probably every 30 or 40. It was a real adventure getting from one to the other, and it really introduced you to that game. But I never really experienced anything like that for time. I don't really think I've experienced anything like that since. It was just one of those things. But yeah, what a great one. Number 3 is how can I say this? This is Sonic Adventure, and I know people don't really love the game, but this is gaming experiences, and for me it's the very first opening level, which was demoed to death everywhere, and for good reason, and it's the killer whale leaping out of the water. You come into, it's like classic Sonic style, all sunny and bright, like Green Hills style zone, and you're on the beach thinking the palm trees up, and you're running along, and then all of a sudden this huge whale comes out and you're having to peg it for your life to try and survive without losing any rings. And it was just that, oh my god, the speed, the glory of the sun and the beach, and it's probably better in my mind than it actually looked on the game. But yeah, it just blew me away at the time. Is what we could have had from a Sonic game, and if they'd just carried on, because that's what I felt the Sonic experience should have been, that rush of speed and the shock and the dares, and it just never paid off, I'm afraid to say. But again, it's one of the better experiences. Right, number 2, I had to think long and hard about this one, but the one that stood out in my mind, I never really bothered with the rest of the series, and it is Silent Hill 2. And the whole thing about you come into this town, you don't know much about this guy, his wife's dead and stuff, and he's getting over it, and he's come back to their holiday where they went on honeymoon or something, and it's just the fact that you go off into the fog and the cloud, and there'll be like, when you first get there, this perfect example, you walk along, there's no monsters or anything, there's no monsters for a good while. And then it all starts really going dark, and then you hear noises and knocks off in the distance. And then as the game goes on, you're inside buildings, and how dark it is, and you're facing off against Pyramid Head, and that terror of the darkness and the atmosphere and the fear. And then add on top of this, you've got that brilliant music. And one in particular that really stands out is it's just a guitar theme, and it's just called Laura. Go and look it up, and it's absolutely stunning. It's slow, it's melodramatic, and it builds up, and then it's all on the guitar and it's riffs, and it's just fantastic. But that whole thing as an experience, never, it was I'm losing my words. It was just so dark, so beautifully dark, and so glorious to explore. And you were actually fearful, but at the same time you always wanted to press on to see what else was there, to solve the mystery and, you know, come to your own ending. Oh, it's beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Anyway, and lastly, my #1 gaming experiences is well, the world of Shenmue. I mean, this is, you know, we all know they've just done the Kickstarter for the third game, big contributor to that myself. But the first two titles, just the fact is, this was the first time you really went into a proper open world to that degree, and a number of things you could do. There was all the small stuff, like small things like playing games, using phones, mailboxes, arcades, exploring, talking to people, all the mundane day-to-day stuff. But even me as a kid at the time, I knew nothing about, like, you know, that East Asian, that sort of world, and it felt like you were taking part in something, and it was a whole experience, and there was just nothing like it. And I've never really seen that in any game since. I'm hoping the third one can keep up to that. But yeah. Anyway, guys, that's my top 5 gaming experiences. But I'm sure you must have loads. By all means, post them in the comments below, and I will see you next time.